Hey there, I'm Lainey Lipsky, parenting coach and master teacher. Parenting is hard. I totally get it, and I'm here to make it easier for you. Especially if you had a tough childhood or you've got a tough child now, I've got your back. So take a deep breath, relax, and check out this clip from my coaching group this week. And remember to hit like and subscribe if you like my vibe. Let's get started. So, the whole idea, the whole reality of feeling fatigued during parenthood, especially when the kids are young, is rooted in a few things that I've noticed. One is that we are actually not sleeping enough, and we're certainly not sleeping well when our kids are little. And if they don't turn into good sleepers soon enough, we can get into a habit of not sleeping well, of waking up. Even if our kids aren't needing us in the middle of the night, it can be kind of like a ghost cry, like you think you hear your kid, or maybe you're on high alert and you hear some sort of noise. Maybe it's a tree hitting against your window or your rooftop, and you think it's somebody and you just bolt awake. I remember that really well, and I still have it to some degree that, but when my kids were young, if I heard any kind of noise in the house, I was like, boom, a shot of adrenaline to my heart, and I was like awake, and I had to go and check everything, make sure things were okay, and I was definitely in a state of like um postpartum anxiety. So this is pretty extreme, but I would then be awake for a really long time because I had such adrenaline running through me and all the cortisol and all of that stuff. And it was very hard to come down from that. So fatigue can actually make you exhausted. And on top of it, there's this other thing that goes on that with us as parents that I was just reading about recently. This study that was showing that um, the more decisions people make in a day adversely affects, negatively affects the amount of self-control they have. And I read this research, this study, and I was like, a huge light bulb just went on in my head where I was like, oh my gosh, how many decisions are parents making throughout the day, right? And how much self-control do parents need in order to not explode at their kids, um, just be patient with them, let alone do the things that we all, talk about trying to do while we're parenting, like working out, watching what we're eating, getting enough water, like all of that stuff requires some amount of self-control. Taking water instead of taking coffee, for example, or in my case, tea, because you know me, choosing a healthy meal instead of, reaching for the fries, like I think about, so let me repeat that again. The study was showing that the more decisions you make in a day, the less self-control you have. And so even if you are highly motivated to eat better, to exercise, to keep your house tidy, whatever the thing is that you're trying to do, whatever habit you're trying to create, or a bad habit you're trying to stop, or continue on a certain habit that you've already had in your life, you've already instilled, but you're trying to just keep it going, it requires some amount of self-control. And when we are just flooded with decisions, it cuts away at that every time. So I just found that super fascinating. And the answer in my mind is to, as much as possible, cut down on the number of decisions that we're making throughout our day. Now, certain things are not going to be, you can't just stop making decisions about everything, right? But what you can do is you can create a system for your life so that certain things are placed on sort of automatic pilot. For anybody who has put their bills on auto pay, you're just kind of not thinking about it anymore. It's this, and it's a relief, right? You're not sitting down with the checkbook and figuring out where to pay and what day you're going to pay and when it's going to be late. Like it's taken care for you. Your bandwidth is not spent on that anymore. Same idea applies here. Where can you in your life right now, as it is, put some things on automatic in your house, in your family, to reduce the number of daily decisions that you're making so that you have more self-control saved for the things that really matter, like being patient and being good to yourself and exercising all of your self-care practices that we talk about, right? Um, So one place that I think is possible to do is to make one day of the week like your laundry day. If you don't already do that, a lot of people do this just kind of naturally. They want a rhythm and they're taking care of it. But um, if you're not already doing something like that, if you assign a day to doing laundry, then you're not dealing with decision of when to do laundry throughout the week. And I'm just going to add this in about laundry. My kids have been doing their own laundry since they were 9, I think, 9 and 7, maybe 9 and 11. I can't remember exactly right now, but somebody was 9. Either my younger one or my older one, and they're 2 years apart. And I have laundry pods. I was like, oh, they can't handle the big jug with the liquid in it. I can barely handle that stuff. It gets gross. But laundry pods, magic. They can throw them and they can do their laundry. So my kids, pick a day so they're not thinking about it also, right? So maybe you're making Sundays your day for, in our house, we do laundry. We make sure shampoo is being used because there's a lot of showers where shampoo isn't being used. And we make sure that our nails are all checked and cut if necessary. So we're not thinking about, oh, I need to cut my nails. Like these sound really tiny, but they're actually any place where you can reduce your decision making is going to enable you to have more bandwidth for your own self-control. And like I'm saying here with the example of the kids having Sundays being their day in my house, where they're making sure that their rooms are 100% tidy, they're doing their laundry, they're taking care of stuff on Sundays, it's reducing the bandwidth that they need to spend on when am I going to do it. So I wanted to give you an example that I do for myself, but that I also share with my kids. What's another example that you can use around this? If you're somebody who makes dinner a lot at home, how much bandwidth are you spending on choosing what meal you're going to make and then planning for that meal and the prepping and the shopping and then the actual like prepping of, cutting and then cooking, right? For me, the meal planning is a decision process that I really don't enjoy. And I started using something called HelloFresh, and I'm not a sponsor or anything of HelloFresh, but that took the thought out of it for me. So that was how I reduced my decision making. All I have to do is follow the instructions that HelloFresh sends with each meal kit, and like I'm good to go. But if you don't want to do that, or you do enjoy cooking more than I do, you can still reduce your decision process, the number of decisions you're making by sitting down once a week and meal planning for the week. And you can make decisions that, you can go even further and say like, every Tuesday is going to be fish. And then, on Tuesdays, you just have to choose a fish dish, right? Every Wednesday is going to be, you know, whatever, meatloaf or, or some sort of beef based, and Thursday is going to be vegetarian. So again, you're like limiting the number of decisions that you have to make even around this item, around this eh, subject, right? So again, like can't say it enough that the more you can limit your decisions throughout your day and certain things are automated and certain things are just on autopilot for you, the more bandwidth you're going to have for your own self-control and to do the things that really matter for taking care of you, like exercise, drinking enough water, saying no to the things that don't serve you anymore. All right. So I just wanted to share that with you. Let me know what you think about that. What are your thoughts? I'm so curious to hear them. I really hope this video was helpful to you. Feel free to share it and use the comments to ask a question or to request a topic for the future. We've got links below for free support with things like discipline, teaching your kids how to be more gritty, and how to be more patient with your kids, plus access to my free coaching group. So be sure to check those links out. And remember, we get one shot at parenthood. Our kids only get one shot at their childhood, so let's make it count. Click like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.